Hey, this is Sasha. Thanks for joining me in today's video. And what I want to do is share with you a quick tip on how to swing trade stocks by looking at the charts. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about it in this video. All right, so a lot of people that are looking into reading stock charts and looking to swing trade from them, we're looking to predict and project a movement moving forward. And as we look to do this in the charts, it's really, you're looking at a couple of factors. Now, I think beyond the scope of this video, that topic is just way too complicated. So I'm here to share with you just a quick tip and insight and an idea for you to get a grasp on this and where many people go wrong with it. Now, before we do, I do want to remind you that we do have some great resources on our website at tradersfly.com. Check out the Start Here area. There's some options getting started. Day trading, we're going to get up some swing trading here as well. Some great freebies you can download as well, so check that out. There's a lot of cheat sheets, PDFs, and even mini videos there. And you can check out some of the courses there that we have as well for like technical analysis and much more on our Rise the number 2 Learn website. Okay, so let's kick things off here. And as I wanted to take a look at these charts, I think what the biggest issue with most people when they look at charts is they look at a single time frame. And when you look at the daily, or you look at the 15-minute, or you look at the weekly, you're always just concentrating on one linear view. It's a single dimension view, and it only gives you a perspective. So think about like an object. Like, let's say we have a flat piece of paper. Imagine you're only looking at it in this view. Well, remember, there's more to it than just that. As you start to rotate things, you can see a different perspective and really see what's behind the surface. And that's the same thing that you want to do with stocks, is you want to go ahead and see the other part. Because why? Why do you want to be able to see that? Because if you're only looking at it flat, you don't really get to see the thickness. What if this thing was actually very thick, and as you rotate it, it goes boop, and it was very thick. So that's the same thing as we look at a chart. Here's the three timeline view that you should probably look at. You should look at it from multi-dimensions rather than just a single linear focus. And we're going to get into this in just a second. But what a lot of people do is they just kind of look at things like this, where they'll look at it, hey, here's the 30 minutes, and this is the one I'm looking at, and this is the one I'm making my decision on. Or they might just look at the daily, and hey, I'm trying to get into this, and I try to do the trade. And although that sometimes works, it's a hit and miss. Remember, the point behind your technical analysis is to get a higher probability of success in your favor. Technicals are not 100%, just like anything in trading, it's not 100%. But what you're trying to do is get the probabilities to be a little more in your favor. And how do you do that? Well, as you swing trade or long-term invest, you look at multiple factors. And the point is there's different people. You have the long-term investors, the medium-term investors, and short-term traders. And if you can get all of those going in sync with you, and when you're trying to do your swing trades, then all of a sudden you've got more people moving in the same direction, and that's really what will allow you to go ahead and fuel from everybody else, and it gives you a higher probability chance of success. So really what you're looking at, here's my 3 bullet points, or a couple bullet points for you, is number 1, look at multiple time frames. So that's kind of a tip number 1. Number 2, volume is key. Well, let's back that up. Let's say price is key, and it's very important because price is what you're dealing with when you're looking at swing trading. And 3, volume helps sustain the move. So if you don't have the volume, you don't have the energy. That's the energy. So what you're really looking at is price, action, and behavior. So when you look at kind of behavior, you're looking at, is this stock sluggish? Is it weak, or is it powerful? And this is where it comes with wide price spread. And what I mean by that is when you have like big bars, compare it to, small little bars, to maybe bars that are a little bigger or wider here. That's what you're looking at. So you can see here, we've got a much bigger bar versus over here, not as big. So when I see something like this, that's a much more healthier bar. Okay, so let's go. I got 3 examples for you. Here's the 3 time frames that I would look at. You could change this up, and we'll do, this one is the monthly, then we have the weekly, and then we go into the daily. So each bar represents a day. And as I move my mouse, you can see how this line that I create is linked up to this one and linked up to this one. So it puts it on the same plane, okay? So as we look into this, here's my viewpoint. So if I look at the long-term investor and I say, okay, well, what's my big picture? The big picture here is, okay, this stock's been heading higher, pulls back, heading higher, and continues like in this pattern. So as I look into this, and let's say I'm looking to swing trade, well, if I'm looking over in this area, here's my highs, and I'm over here somewhere, where would I get into the stock? So I probably look at somewhere when it breaks these resistance levels at this point. So the getting in point would be here. That's the big picture view. Now the question is when do I make that decision? That's a monthly viewpoint. So when do I go ahead and make that that decision? Well, I go ahead and I look at this line. I've got this line set up. Now this line ties in to the line right here. So you can see there is coming up my breaking point. Now that still gives me a more detailed view, but it's not the actual execution time frame. Now you've got a week where, hey, it's moving higher, but when do I actually execute this? When do I actually pull the trigger? Well, then I go into the daily, and now you can see, hey, on this daily time frame, look at that. There was our resistance. You can see it lines up perfectly. The monthly lines up, the weekly lines up, and now the daily's lining up. So I've got 1 or 2 days here that I could go ahead and I pulled the trigger right there on that breaking point. So I zoom in on the daily, okay? Now if you want to take this a step further, you could now step into this, and let's just do standard bars right here. Let's go into maybe a 30-minute time frame, where now you start looking, okay, well, here's my line, okay? I've lined it up. Here's my line, and now I start looking at the 30-minute. I'll zoom in a little bit on this, and now, hey, where is the actual pull the trigger part? Well, here's my volume. Here's the initial open, a little bit tough, and then it continues to move higher. So pulling the trigger somewhere in this zone, right? You've got the volume that keeps growing, and same thing right here, right there. There's a 1-2 p.m. around that time frame, and it looked good. Now, yes, it did pull back a little, but then you can see more volume started to come into play right there. Started to break. So that's the way I would look at things. This is a quick little tip and insight for you. You can do this with many stocks. Here's another one. Here's Nvidia. I'll give you another insight here. So if we back things up and we look at the swing highs here of the bar in the past, very similar concept, okay? Right there, okay? There was your entry point in a way, but where? So we'll go ahead and we take a look at that somewhere over here. Again, we don't know exactly when to pull the trigger. So as we check this out, okay, there was a couple of points earlier where we might have gotten in here. This was a failed attempt. So does that mean, hey, sometimes you'll get in and then it pulls back? Yeah, that's called a failed breakout. And what you'll do is it's kind of like nibbling, testing, and you get in it, hey, and it pulls back. Well, that one didn't work. And then what happened is a little bit later, it does work. So what you do then is then you might have tried it a second time, and then the third time it actually worked out, because you look at this was a 2-3 month period. In that time frame, here's kind of your March, and here's your March over here. So this was a failed breakout, so you don't go there. This is used as your resistance spot for where you're looking at. But even at this point right here, let's go back out of it. As we look to this, here's our point. We still had 1 and 2. We had 2. Let's see if I could zoom in on this. Maybe not right this second. Right here, let's zoom in. Even right here, I've had 1 failed attempt, 2 failed attempts, and the third one is kind of where I get in. And probably even more so here, because this is where the wide price spread is. You could probably went in here or even in here, and that's what allowed the stock to fuel higher. So that's the way I would look at it, is in that respect. Let's check out Netflix, also very similar concept. So you look at kind of these swing highs, you look at the peak, the top, not the bottom, not the close, the peak, because this is a longer time frame, longer duration. So I'm looking here at that time frame, at the very peak. And then what you'll see is, okay, as that lines up, here's kind of your level, of where you're looking at, and here's your level of where you're looking at. Now, sometimes in some cases, these peaks are outliers, and that's called confluence. It's a meeting point, like you have those things that shoot. And if you're noticing, what's happening is if they're not lining up on the weekly, which you'll notice here, this is why I chose this example, then you might actually need to go where there's a lot of points that hit. So here, as we look to Netflix, you can see there was a lot of points here that hit kind of in this range. Okay, so then what we do is, hey, these peaks might be just outliers. So let's go to here and let's check this area first, because getting in earlier on the stock would be better. But you need to be more cautious because you could have a failed breakout, because it could break and reject because you're not sure if this peak over here is actually the key resistance level. So you'll watch this level at the 380. So let's back it up. And now what you're doing is, okay, here's my weekly. There's the next entry point. Okay, but where's the actual pull the trigger point? And take a look. There it is. It's basically, as you zoom in on this, you can see, let's see if I can do this here. There it is, okay? So there's your kind of highs right there. And you pull the trigger probably around here, and probably be towards the end of the day or so, because this has the wide price spread. It's got the volume, it's got the break on the charts, and it all lines up with all the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and they all move together. So anyways, and then from there, from that point, you would have went from around $400 to 442. So you get about a 69 point move on that trade. So if you look at it, you've got about a 68 point move on the trend there. Now, would you have made all of it? No, because let's just say you buy 100 shares. Well, maybe as it skyrockets, you take off 50 of those shares. So 50 of those are gone. Then as you know, maybe if power's higher, you might have took off another 10 or 20 or 30. So you don't capture the full run, but what happens is you'll peel some shares off into strength. So anyways, I hope this gives you some thoughts and insights as far as looking at the bigger picture of how to really do this the smarter way, because you're just trying to get the probabilities in your favor when you're looking at these stocks and making a prediction for the future. It's not to say that it's going to all work out. Sometimes you'll have 3 or 4 failed breakouts. Sometimes you have 6 or 8 failed breakouts. And then, hey, then you just step aside. But eventually, as they do break, then you take shares off into strength. So once you get in it, take off 20, then another 20, another 20, whatever your percentage is, a third, a half, reduce your risk and exposure. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Feel free to grab some freebies here that I have on my website. You can download them. There's some mini courses on there as well, and much more. And if you're brand new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.